In my last video, I covered the release of The Nightmare Begins, the first part of the Daleks master plan, which had been missing until its recovery earlier this year. However, along with it, another missing episode from that serial was also recovered. As far as I'm concerned, the recovery of two missing episodes is two separate reasons to celebrate, which is why I wanted to cover each of them individually. So, with all that being said, let's now talk about Devil's Planet. Devil's Planet is the third episode of the 12-part serial The Daleks Master Plan. It follows on from episode 2, Day of Armageddon, which was recovered in 2004, and leads into episode 4, The Traitors, which remains missing. At the beginning of the episode, the First Doctor has stolen the taranium core of the Daleks' Time Destructor and is rushing back to Stephen, Katarina and Brett, who've hijacked Mavic Chen's ship The Spar, before they leave Kembel without him. Meanwhile, the Daleks, who have discovered the infiltration, are now on high alert. Until now, the only way to experience Devil's Planet was via the off-air soundtrack release of the Daleks Master Plan, which also includes PDFs of the original canvas scripts, or the unofficial fan-made reconstructions that used it. From these sources, we know that the Devil's Planet in question is Desperus, a prison world home to screamers, nocturnal, bat-like creatures that prey upon the prisoners exiled there. The Doctor, Stephen, Katarina and Brett have to make an unscheduled landing on Desperus while they repair the spar, but three savage prisoners, Bors, Garge and Kirkson, see this as the perfect opportunity to finally escape the planet. The dynamic power struggle between them informs the subplot of the episode. Devil's Planet also sees the Daleks going on the offensive in the aftermath of the Doctor stealing the taranium core. The Dalek Supreme dispatches a pursuit fleet to recover the core and exterminate the intruders who stole it, while also making accusations about who, in the Council, is responsible for that having happened. There's more exposition about the core as well. In Day of Armageddon, Chen explained that taranium is only found on one of the dead planets of the solar system. In Devil's Planet, he reveals which one it is. Also, in terms of atmosphere, Bors, Garge and Kirkson bring an intensity to the episode that reaches its peak with a cliffhanger. The reason there even are so many missing episodes from the early years of Doctor Who is because, until 1978, the BBC's policy was that wiping and reusing its videotapes was cheaper than buying more, especially when the programmes on them weren't expected to be of any future value once they'd already been transmitted. The Actors' Union imposed such high repeat fees that re-showing something was rare, and that, combined with black and white programmes no longer being considered of interest after the transition to colour, meant the BBC simply didn't think most of its back catalogue was worth retaining. However, the reason that most junked episodes have ended up being recovered is because all of them, except one, were telerecorded onto 16mm film, which is, in multiple ways, a more practical format than videotape. The negatives of these telerecordings were then used for striking copies that could be sold overseas, or, as in the case of Devil's Planet, used by the BBC for technical review of the negative in order to check it had been developed to their required specifications. This recovery was made possible by the charitable trust Film is Fabulous, which advances, educates and encourages public interest in film as a medium and its role within British culture. As part of its work, the trust identifies and researches missing, rare and important films and collaborates with the relevant agencies for their preservation, as well as championing the need for recovered films to be screened widely with affordable licensing agreements through the copyright holders. The Trust emphasises that no other organisation in the UK is acting to preserve films and our cultural heritage in a similar manner. The work Film is Fabulous does is bigger than Doctor Who, and if you want to help support that work, you can make a donation to the Trust via its website. Devil's Planet has been restored to broadcast quality by R3 Store Studios and is now streaming on BBC iPlayer. In celebration of its return, the episode is tomorrow also being exhibited at an event called the Covered Doctor Who Special, hosted by Riverside Studios, which includes a discussion panel consisting of Toby Haydock, actor and comedian, Peter Purvis, Stephen Taylor, and Nicholas Briggs, writer, director and performer across various Doctor Who universe media. The event will also include The Nightmare Begins, as that episode was recovered from the same film collection, along with Day of Armageddon to link them together. So, if you're watching The Nightmare Begins next, I've made a guide to that episode as well.